This monument right here. It's about 18 feet high. It's about 8 feet wide on the bottom by about 6 feet. If that is all granite, and it says 1921 there, the latest date. If that's all granite, something like that has to be, like 50 tons or more. How are they constructing this stuff in 1920? Just process that. And then as I walk through here, there's another one right there. You look throughout this cemetery. It's loaded with tonnage. Like this sarcophagus over here. And it's like 8 feet tall, right? On shards of rock. I mean, think about it. Supposedly all hand carved, right? For Mr. Charles Fletcher. Looks a lot newer though. Anyway, it just blows my mind the amount of tonnage that was being tossed around in the 1800s and early 1900s. And the craftsmanship of this stuff is just insane. Just thrown together, no problem. Again, it just blows my mind how they could toss. It says 1882 on it. They could just toss like, this together. All made of granite. Hundreds of tons, And it's no problem. It's here, we have to believe it, right? As far as the eye can see. Look at this one here. I guess about 20 feet high. Maybe a little more. I've shown this one before. 1900 is the earliest date, or the latest date on that. And look. Just a 20-ton obelisk sitting on shards, and it never loses its balance in over 100 years. Really? And the sewer and drainage system here is just elaborately done. I've shown this many times. The steel is incredible. This entire thing built in the mid-1800s, right? They could do anything steel-wise, anything underground. Just the entire park is filled with wonders. Cemetery, park. In my mind, they're the same thing. Parks and cemeteries are the same. Loaded with unbelievable ruins and impossible monuments and what have you. Let's see if we can find some old stuff in here. As far as we know, like these look old right here. To me, those look new. They don't look old. Probably replacements. But, yeah. They look old doesn't mean they are old. It's just what you're willing to believe. Now, some of these trees that are in here are old. How old? I'll leave that up to you. I think some of these are really old, like 300 or 400 years. This one here is different from all the rest. (1850) erected. I don't know what the coating is, but it almost feels plastic. I don't know. Just one of the amazing oddities you always find in an old world cemetery. Let's continue. Again, another obelisk. Just sitting on a pile of rocks. (1898) died next to an old tree. Let's continue. Alright, just coming over a little grassy knoll here. Another obelisk sitting on top of rock chips. As I go down this embankment, we got a couple of mausoleums here. Like, why are there mausoleums like this into the side of these hills and what have you? Last time I was here, it was wintertime. This one looks newer. Could be old. I don't know. This one here is just massive. Meaning the materials that make up it are just massive granite. Like the pillars are like 8 feet tall. All one piece. They seem to be one piece. And these blocks that make up the side. And that one right there is like 10 feet long. 2.5 feet up and down. Who knows how thick? But I mean, we're talking a lot of tonnage, right? Just something that was slapped up in 18 blah blah blah. For Butts and Smith. No date on it. I mean, really? Just on the side of a hill. Butts and Smith. Must have been quite the couple, huh? Butts and Smith over there. I just wanted to take a look at this one. This one has a date of 1918 on it. Again, like you look at the rooftop, if that's a solid piece of granite, how was that put up there? You're not doing that with wooden pulleys and chains and rope. They could just carve anything. There's just nothing in there. There's some elaborate stained glass though on the sides. It's all covered up so you can't see it. Like that piece right there that's angled up. If that is all one piece of granite, talking, 14 feet by about 8 or 9, 10 feet going up. I guess it could be cement, but it doesn't look like cement. And how would that be done as well? This is granite. Machine carved. You got the feather and wedge on the bottom. Again, not something we would do today, right? Not something at all that we would do today. All right, and here are the tulip trees in the beginning of September. I've only come here mainly in the wintertime. 120 feet high. In a valley surrounded by mounds, so that they're the same height as all the other trees. Just massive. I do think that they change out the surrounds whenever they need to. I think that's newer. And there's a lot of newer granite in here too. Like if you just look randomly, like you see that one up there, looks new. Let's go see if it has a date on it. Because we gotta go up mounds, right? Because this is just where you would bury people. This looks like an older surround right here. See how it's all buried? I think it has a date on it, guys. The one next to it says 1926. Yes, 1927. But it's newer. So they do replace these. There's another one there. I think this place is constantly undergoing these granite changes. There's some newer stuff here too. And like all these, they're all brand new. It says 1897, but it's brand new. Look what it's sitting on. It's been moved by the winter snows. That's a new stone as well. Like, explain that. If it looked all ruined and weathered and you saw it there, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's just old. The tree's taking it over. Massive tree. White ash. There's another new stone. City treasurer, member of Congress. course, they get all the newer stuff, right? Just to keep in line with history. So what do you think, guys? These just been added here? Creating a fake history on our timeline? Like in the last 20 years or so? I think so. I'm inclined to think so. Thank you for your faithful service. Again, newer ones. You just swing around here, you can tell all the new ones, right? That's new in there. Or it's some kind of granite I've never seen, and only in cemeteries where it never ages. Highly unlikely. Let's look and see if this one has a date on it. Kimball. (1972) is the latest date I can see there. Even so, you know, 53 years is a long time. It should have some weatherization on it, right? Yeah, it's just so weird to see all this new stuff. Did I see this stuff during the winter time? I have to look at some of my, oh, this one's new. It says 1987. So some of them have newer dates, but some of them don't, which makes you wonder. Look over here, there's 3 little ones in the ground. Two look old, one looks new. Let's see if they replaced it with the old date. Nope. Brand new, 2019. Very interesting. Let's continue on this theme. Alright, I just walked around that one. 1880 was the latest date I could see on this. Looks to be made out of like a brownstone, or at least the covering is. Just sitting on rock chips and cement appearing like transformed brick, right? Perfectly level for 140 years. And as I swing out here, I've shown this in the past. Schwartz. Just over the top monument and surround. And notice the front. Always the Masons that get the biggest and most elaborate stuff. And the odd stuff, right? Always. All right, another 50, 60 or plus ton monument for a governor of Rhode Island. And as I work my way through here, we're gonna see some old. And then look at this. Look at that money symbol there. This whole surround here, it's all brand new. The old one was probably down by the water, where I've caught in a previous video. But that's all brand new. This is brand new. Within a few years old. So they're constantly fixing these up, replacing. It's like an ongoing thing. That'll definitely confuse people in the future, right? Just looks like a theme park for monument stones, right? I mean, come on. What are these places that we started burying our dead in? I'm in the main entrance area. You know, these drains are just throughout the whole park. There's the main monument over there. It's like a 40-foot high monument. And you see stuff like this. Like, yeah, it's a newer stone, right? None of these people have passed yet, so paid for future burial. Hey, I wonder if they make electric ones like that. That would be pretty cool to get around a place like this. And then the rocks that surround this whole cemetery. You see a lot of these in the park. They just use these old destroyed rocks as headstones. The entire cemetery is surrounded by walls with giant cataclysmed boulders. Anyway, curious what people think. I know there are real dead people here, and we know that for sure. We've been burying them like this for 150 years. But what is it with all the new replaced stuff? Stuff we know is cataclysmed remains. Just a rock. Someone couldn't afford a stone, so they just got whatever was lying around and glued some cheap metal letters on it. And that's what it looks like, right? I don't know, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Alright, sitting along a ginkgo tree to this drain right here. Can you see the bricks? Anyway, the bricks can be found everywhere. Look at this rather unique headstone in the cemetery. Just a giant rock, right? Appears to be. My guess would be about 10, 12 ton. And look how it was carved. The latest date on there I see is 1914. Whether it was done then or not, who knows? You can't believe that that was hand carved, do you? That looks like it was formed. To me, anyway. And while I'm right here, all the stones around here in this vicinity have the same raised design. Do you know how hard something like that would be to carve? Let's check this one out over here. Again, 4 or 5 ton monument. Looks simple, right? But ask yourself, is it simple? (1907) is the latest date I see on this stone. Ask yourself, is something like that easy with a chisel and a hammer? I don't know about 1907. Maybe there was better methods, etc. But some of this stuff, they tell us, is really, really old. And I just wonder how it could be carved. I mean, the CNC machines weren't even invented until the 1950s. Here we have 1904 as the latest date. Who knows if the date's correct, right? But how are you carving that whole stone in one piece, right? Like this whole top here looks to be carved in one piece. How? And what about stuff like this? 30-foot high obelisks. See, the latest date on here is 1906. Don't know if that's the case or not, but why? The bottom is 10 feet by 10 feet. This is perfectly straight, pointing to the heavens, right? And look, just put on rocks and bits, and that's it. That's how it's done. Okay, so now I see 1936 on there. You know, stuff like that could have been added, right? We don't know how old these things are. But even at 1936, what did I say? 1945. Even at 1945, you're talking 10 years before CNC carving machines were even made. So I just don't get monuments and cemeteries, especially the older ones. And telling us this is all hand carved. Next time you're in an old cemetery and there are all these varieties of trees, these 10, 15-ton behemoth stones, monuments, obelisks, and little buildings like this. Built out of stone, slate, steel. Rock and cement. Ask yourself, how these 1800s people figure this all out. And here we are, we can't figure nothing out. Perhaps they were from a different place than us. So I am in the Swan Point Cemetery in Providence, Rhode Island. And see this tree in front of me? And as with many trees in this cemetery, I'm going to show as many as I can. But all the trees in the cemetery are labeled And I find it very interesting that a cemetery built in the 1800s with all the grand obelisks and monuments, that they would also include trees from all over the world. Okay? So we're going to have a look at a few of these and just kind of figure out where they are. I won't know all the information right off, but a Muir cork tree. Now I know this one is Asia, northern China, or, in that area of the world. So very unique for it to be here in Providence, Rhode Island. Let's see what this one is. Very strange looking tree. So they had the ability to just get trees from all over the world. Again, same tree. Looks different from the one I just looked at. This one has like nubs. Just a very strange tree. Just massive. Some of these are so huge. Like this one's got to be 10 feet around at the base, the very bottom. It's got vines growing up it. Wow. This one doesn't have a tag that I can see anyway. Oh yeah, it does. Northern red oak. And then right next to it, Hinoki. I don't even want to pronounce that. Ten-ton monument. Obelisks everywhere. Just everywhere. Massive black oak tree. It's probably 6 feet wide. They could do anything back in the 1800s. They could source any tree from around the world and just plant it right here in their cemetery. Norway maple. These trees here appear to be the tallest in the whole cemetery. I'd say about 100 to 120 feet high. With the last one there, massive. I mean, it's got to be 8 feet wide on the bottom. Let's see what these are. I mean, because the camera makes it small, right? They're huge. This one's got to be 8 feet around, diameter of the bottom. Tag's messed up. Let's see if this one has a tag. Just tall. They sit down in a valley here, so they probably seem as tall as some of the other tall ones on mounds all around. Oh, it's called the tulip tree. I'd say 100 to 120 feet high, not 50. This one here seems to be the biggest one in the entire cemetery. It's a tulip tree as well. We're talking 8 feet at the bottom. Some of those branches are like 3-4 feet round, diameter wise. Just a massive, massive tree. That one splits off into two. Big, big, big. Camera doesn't justify it. It's perhaps a 30-foot high monument. This tree doesn't look from around here. And I don't see a tag on it. Look at this. It's got to be 100 feet wide. Just amazing what kind of trees are here. And you know, randomly you just have all these stones all around it. Like, really? You have this giant tree and everyone's buried here? What about all the roots? Look at this one. Leaking water or something out of it. Well, I don't see a label on this one. It's big. Be a cool tree to climb. Alright, let's see what else. I mean, the obelisks are pretty damn impressive as well. And the buried foundations around the stones, you know. Giant obelisks. See 3 in a row right here. They're all 30 feet tall. You're talking 10, 15 tons, right? No problem. 1800s people had it all figured out. Alright, I've moved over about a quarter mile. See all the fancy trees. This one's called the Dawn Redwood. It's got to be 150 feet high. I don't know if there's a tag on that one. I'm not going in to check. This one's got a tag on it. Japanese raisin tree. And then right across the way here, no bark. A swahara. Just smooth all the way up. Let's continue. Alright, let's see what we got over here. It's got to be like 8-9 feet wide. I don't know if this one has a tag. But yeah, it just looks as old as time, doesn't it? Almost looks as strange as some of the stone walls we come across. Yeah, I don't see a tag on that one. There is, however, one on this one. Sassafras tree. Same thing. The size of that one there. Jeez. Let's check out a couple of these. Sassafras. Just find it very, very intriguing that they could just source out trees from all around the world just to put in a cemetery. That one's not tagged. Flowering crabapple tree. Those are very pretty in the spring. Let's see what this behemoth is over here. On the camera it looks small, right? It's massive. Again, buried surround, like it's gone. It goes right underneath this huge tree. I mean, think about that, right? Goes right underneath the tree and comes out over here. How old's this tree? I don't see a tag. Huh. It's the no-name behemoth. Just call it elephant tree. And then right across the way here, it's a giant spruce appearing tree. The tag is missing. 504. It's all documented for sure.